Hello there and welcome back to another one of my videos. I recently went and bought a mini travel palette set that came with heaps of little empty pans to fill up with watercolour paints so that I can paint a lot easier on the go. If you've seen the previous video I made where I was showing what's inside my travel watercolour kit, it only had sepia watercolour in and I found that was quite restrictive, and I just like painting with colours, so I was finding that I wasn't really using it as often as I should. So I bought a little set and I filled it up with my favourite Winsor & Newton paints, and now I can fit it all into an A5 size bag along with my mini sketchbook and some pencils and erasers and pens and brushes, and I can just throw it in my bag and it's a lot easier to use. So over the last couple of weeks I've been testing it out. I did a bit of painting outdoors which I filmed. I was wanting to film a lot more, but the weather hasn't been ideal and it always seems to be raining when I want to film outdoors, so I just haven't had the chance to film any of that. But yesterday I did take it to my studio and I just wanted to do a proper test with it. And so I just did a bit of experimenting with it by painting a picture that I once again found on Pinterest of like a red sort of barn house thing. I think the original picture was from Norway. And it has a couple of sheep in the foreground. So that's what I was experimenting with yesterday on Saturday. I've been looking through Instagram and I've seen a lot of really dark watercoloured paintings that rely a lot on ink and just really dark textured colours, and I really wanted to replicate that style in this painting. So it's a little bit like my normal style, but I tried to really deepen the colours a lot and really make it just very dark and dismal, because the original picture was dark and dismal as well. So there were a lot of dark grey tones and greens, and I really wanted to make the red a really deep shade as well. So along with putting a lot of ink down to start off with and then layering a lot of watercolour, I also decided at the end to grab a few coloured pencils and darken those shades even further, and that added a really interesting texture to it as well. I've only ever done that once or twice, and it's usually been when everything's just not worked out and I've gotten bored, so I'm just scribbling away. But I tried to do this with a bit more intention and it turned out really, really good. So yesterday when I finished the painting, I was really excited and I thought this would make a really cool print, so I just experimented and I made like a little A6 print, and that came out really well too. I think I'll eventually sell it on my Etsy, but it's not up there yet. But what I'll probably do at the moment is that if anybody purchases anything, then I'll have it as like a little freebie thing for now. What else has been happening? So the past couple of weeks since I made my last video, I've just been working on background things like video ideas, and I also have finally tried to resurrect my Patreon as well, because one of my goals at the start of this year was to use that a lot more and get a lot of stuff on there, so then it's actually worth someone's money to actually purchase a tier, and it actually has a purpose to it, and it could be useful stuff and prints and digital downloads and all that sort of stuff. So I revamped the whole Patreon thing last night as well, and now I'm going to be like putting weekly newsletters on there and like digital downloads, and of course there's prints if people sign up to the print tier as well. And at the moment I'm feeling okay about it, because I didn't want to make it really hectic and like not sustainable at all, because I have limited time as it is. But I think I've found a good balance where I can put effort into it but not feel completely overwhelmed with it, especially in these early days as well, where it may not make any money anyway. So that's good now. So if you are interested in Patreon and you want to support what I create online, then go and have a look at that. It could be interesting. And I think that's about it. I'm not going to say this video is a rush, but I do feel a bit less organised in it, but hopefully the next one will be better. I want to do like a proper sit-down chatty video and just talk about just general life stuff instead of just paintings and Patreon. If you're interested in that, then it's good, but for most people it's probably boring. So that is on the horizon, and a couple more tutorials and just general things like that, so you can look forward to that. But for now, I'll leave you. I hope you have a lovely day or evening or whatever time it is, and I will see you again in another video. Bye!